There are definitely people on social media who just post photos for their friends or their family to see. These people exist. But people who are my age especially are so obsessed with curating their image online, having an aesthetic, having a consistent personality, having almost a brand for themselves. Now, the idea of humans branding themselves came onto my radar when I started working in this entertainment industry, if you will. I kept hearing people say like, oh, that's so on brand for them, or, oh, that's their brand. Oh, you shouldn't do that because that's not on brand. And I was like, what the fuck are you guys talking about? I quickly became aware of the fact that there's a lot of value in branding yourself, developing an identity that's consistent, whether that's what you talk about online or what you wear online or what your hobbies are online or what your values are online or what aesthetic you portray. There's a lot of value in that because it solidifies in people's mind who you are. And that allows people to connect with you accordingly if you have things that are maybe relatable to some people. And doing things that are not on brand is not a good idea because this confuses people who are connecting with you on the internet. Because now people are like, wait a minute, who is this person? They're not who I thought. Now, I will say this is a lot more extreme on an industry level, talking about celebrities, influencers, whoever, people whose careers are on the internet. It's a little bit more extreme. But I think that it's trickled down into people who just use social media as a hobby. And at this point, I don't even know if using social media is called a hobby anymore. I think it would be called just participating in society, period. Everybody is obsessed with sort of branding themselves on social media, having an aesthetic. I would say the people who don't do that and don't participate in that side of social media are the outliers. They are far less common. So let's really dig in. Let's really dig in to our obsession with having an aesthetic. Now, I want to explain what I mean by this first because I don't exactly know if this is the right way to portray what I'm thinking, but I think it is. When I think of an online aesthetic, I think of a consistent personality on social media. What you wear, what you talk about, what colors your Instagram feed are, the way that you write your captions on Instagram, the music that you use on your videos on TikTok, the kind of camera you use when you make a video on TikTok. All of this curates a sort of aesthetic. I'll give you some examples actually of some different aesthetics that I've seen online to kind of give you an example of what I mean by our obsession with having a particular aesthetic online. The first one that came to mind was like the cool street style edgy kid. Okay, we're talking about somebody who wears super edgy, cool fashion, probably takes photos in grungy locations like, I don't know, in like an abandoned warehouse or, in a broken down, exploded car. They're never looking at the camera. They always got they're always looking away. They're wearing like sunglasses in every photo. You don't even know really what they look like. They're mysterious. Everything that they post is super vague. Their Instagram captions are super vague. If they film a video, it's on like some sort of shitty GoPro from 2007. Like this is the edgy street style edgy kid. You get what I'm saying? But then I also was thinking about the sort of super soft, gentle cottagecore vibe. This is more, wearing a lot of white frilly sort of clothing, having bows in your hair, having books everywhere on your nightstand, having little plants in your home, having floral bed sheets, filming videos on a beautiful, crispy nice camera with maybe like a bokeh lens. Like the background's blurry and the forefront's super crisp and clean, and everything looks clean. Everything feels clean. Everything feels gentle and sophisticated. This is the super soft cottagecore vibe. Then you have like the wellness god. Okay, we'll call them the wellness god. This is somebody who's always working out, but like doing like a hot workout, like they're doing like Pilates, they're going on a walk, they're, drinking their green juice, they're drinking their smoothie, they're at the farmer's market, they're doing a yoga class before work in the morning at 5 a.m. They're super organized in their home. Like their home looks super modern and organized and clean, and they have all the newest appliances, like the newest Vitamix blender, and they have, all this shit. And it's this consistent aesthetic that basically portrays having your shit together. Like your health is right, your mind is right, everything is right, everything is clean and aesthetic and beautiful and modern, and that is the wellness god, okay? Then you have the tortured artist, okay? This is somebody who maybe posts a bunch of stuff about their art or work or whatever, and then in between that, everything's emo. Okay, everything's emo. Everything's sad. Everything's deep. Everything's philosophical. Everything's existentialist. Everything's almost too intellectual to maybe even a fault, right? But yet they're creating amazing art. Okay, so this is like the tortured artist. Then you have the party kid, or like the college royalty. This is somebody who's always posting photos of them at parties, always posting photos with the red Solo cup. They're wearing matching outfits with their friends. They're out. They're like, hanging out with everyone. They have big groups of friends. Everything looks so fun, and they make jokes about being hungover. That's the party kid / college royalty aesthetic. You might also see them on a boat with their friends. You might also see them randomly in Cabo with their friends. All of their parents flew them out to Cabo for the weekend. Like, this is what I'm talking about. Then you have the workout god. Let's call him the workout god. We have the wellness god. That's one sort of fitness aesthetic. But then you have the workout god. This is a whole different fitness aesthetic. We're talking about posting their favorite protein bars on their story, posting their favorite protein powder on their story, posting all the supplements they take. Oh, they're taking creatine today. Oh, they're taking fucking collagen. I don't know, whatever the fuck. They're always wearing like the same brands of workout clothes. It's like super technical looking workout clothes. Their entire life revolves around being a gym buff. They're like super ripped. It's like this whole aesthetic, okay? This is the workout god. And then you have the I don't care aesthetic, okay? This is like people who always post candid photos, always post random photos of things that they saw on the street. To be honest, I actually might be somewhat involved in this specific aesthetic. I feel like I enjoy this one, and I think I actually do it sometimes. Posting like a random photo dump of random shit that they saw throughout the week that intrigued them. Occasionally posting an outfit photo where they're like wearing an outfit that they like, but they're not like posing in a super staged way. Instead, when they were taking photos, they were maybe being silly or something so that the photo wouldn't look as posed. This is like the random aesthetic. I could keep going on and on about this forever. There are so many versions of this, and almost everyone I know fits into one of these aesthetics. Now, what's interesting is I live in Los Angeles, where there are so many influencers. It's incredible. It's actually pretty magnificent. It's even possible that we can fit that many in one city. And listen, I'm not blaming any of them. This is not an insult, because I'm a fucking part of it. So, if you were to take the collective Instagram follower count of everybody in Los Angeles, it'd probably be the highest in the world. Like people who live in Los Angeles, if we were to take all the Instagram follower counts, put them all together, wow, it's a lot. There's a lot of people who live here who are in this industry. We know that. That's not a secret to us. I sometimes wonder when I speak about these things if my perspective is completely off, because I live in LA where there are so many influencers, you can't go a day without seeing one. And part of being an influencer and having a career online is sort of having a brand for yourself, portraying yourself a certain way. And the reason for that being that if you have a consistent identity and personality online, that's perceived, I'd say, more profitable by companies, because they look at you and they get a really good understanding about who you are and whether or not you align with their product. And through that, they can decide, okay, is this a good fit? Should we work together? And that's how people who are online make money. There's other ways too, but that's one of the main ways that people who are known online for being a personality make their money. I might be blowing this out of proportion in your opinion because I see this so much because I live in an environment where it is very popular. But at the same time, I do think it exists elsewhere. There's been so many times when somebody random has just shown up on my Explore page who I don't know. And I've just been curious. I'm like, who is this? And then I click and it's somebody who has like 3,000 followers on Instagram that has a total aesthetic. And it's clear that they're just doing it to build their identity, not because they're making money online. You see what I'm saying? I think it's a lot more saturated here in Los Angeles, but I think it's in the world too. And I've seen it, but it might just not be as much of an obsession as it is here.